Mike Keith, voice of the Titans, in studio today. Good to see you.
What a VOTT.
Good to be seen. Hello.
Hi. Tennessee with the win today. Gonzaga and Purdue, the winner of that game, plays Tennessee tomorrow. Who you want?
I'd rather play Gonzaga.
Tell me why.
I think it's a better matchup size-wise for the Vols. I think it's a better challenge right now for where they are. I know Purdue is ranked more highly, but Purdue plays a very different style, and I think that would that's hard to get ready for in one day. So from the tournament perspective, I just like to see them have the opportunity to play the Zags, but that's just me.
Asking people for a positive to take out of the Titans-Jacksonville game.
Sure.
My positive was Will Levis is not in traction.
Okay.
What would your positive be?
That Tennessee beat Syracuse today.
There you go.
Can I use that?
Yeah.
I don't think I can do that. I
I
think that was taking the off lane to an nth degree.
How about earlier in the year when they ran the play with the King throwing the touchdown pass and Big Jeff was in the game, and I was like, man, can we see Big Jeff catch a pass? And you're like, there's usually 2 or 3 things on every set. And
hey, if you listen to the listen, you could generally read something into it. So
I mean, that's a positive. That was fun to see. And he got hit as he caught the ball, too.
He got hit by Olakun, who can hit people, and he held on to the ball and did a good job. To my way of thinking, the real positive was probably Jeffrey Simmons. It's like this team is in a bad place right now. It's not playing good football. It's not playing winning football. And he's been challenged to do whatever he could to lead, not just with words and actions, but with actual making plays. And he did that. I think you could make a case the touchdown pass was a reward for the kind of effort he made. I don't think it's probably that simple, but that's the way it felt, is even in a losing effort, he deserved the opportunity to be recognized in that way. And we've seen over the years guys who have stepped forward in moments where teams have been playing badly. Keith Bullock used to do it. He was famous for when the team was really stinking up the joint at times. Bullock would play bigger and get everybody's attention and would sort of show the way. I remember Avery Williamson did it in a game against Carolina where Cam Newton, in what was a very good game against the eventual NFC champions, they scored late to put the Titans away, and Cam Newton thought he would do something funny in the end zone.
Yep.
And Avery Williamson went after it. And the part of that was we're just not going to take it anymore. And I think you have moments where you have guys step forward in that way, and it's not always immediate, but it's somebody showing the way. And I think that's why you paid Jeff Simmons. Not only is he outstanding, but he's got the right character, the right heart, the right attitude. You know, it's been said before, he is what we want a Titan to embody, and I think that's what Jeff's all about. So to me, the play that he made on ETN on the 3rd and inches, a couple other plays where he showed up big, just always hustling down the field wherever he needs to be. He wants to play and he wants to win. And that's how you show that to some guys who may not know how to do it right now.
I really love that.
Was that fair?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I love you pointing that out about Big Jeff. And I think that's what, to me personally, from a player's perspective, looking at it, I've been a part of when you start to see the rope slipping and you start to try to find things as far as positives in it. And I thought that was huge. Him, on numerous occasions, chasing from the middle of the pack, chasing Trevor Lawrence. Even, like, Trevor Lawrence is really 5 to 6 yards downfield. Like, he could have easily pulled up and, like, I'm going to let it go. But as far as the culture is set, that's what you need, cornerstones like that. And I think I heard more so for him, King Henry, people like that are invested into the franchise that is, like, you really can't get it back. And it's not going to happen in one game.
No.
Not going to happen in a year to me. But I do think it's positive if you start to put pieces around them. That's why you got to.
What may happen in a year?
Yeah. Okay.
Because once the calendar turns to 2024, a lot of things change.
True.
Especially with the salary cap. I think that's what you're finding out about this ball club right now. Is you're going to be able to know maybe as well as any team in the league at year's end what you have.
Okay.
And for the older guys, for the guys in the middle of their careers, for the rookies. what's happening right now is what it's all about. Somebody said to me on another radio show this morning in another city, they said, are the players playing for pride? I said, no. They're playing for jobs. This is the pros. And that's what this is all about. And you've got to show that you're worthy of an investment towards the future by how you play, by how you improve, by how you produce, all of those sorts of things. So, we know about Jeff Simmons.
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay. We have a pretty good understanding of what he's all about. But even if you're a rookie on this team, there are no guarantees for the future, because this is going to be a ball club that is going to have the ability to go out and get can sign over you or can draft over you or whatever. But you're going to have some times where you're going to have 7 games worth of tape to be able to show what you can do. If I'm not mistaken, there was at least a snap where 5 of the drafted rookies were on the field at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah.
5 of the 11 players were the drafted rookies. I mean, that's where you are.
That tells you something.
Well, it does tell you something. Yeah. I mean, if you want an explanation, I mean, that ain't good. The Super Bowl teams don't do that, unfortunately. This is where it's at right now, and there are a lot of reasons for that. Fine. But whatever that is, whatever those reasons are, the reality is there are brighter days ahead for this organization and for, the football team and for everything happening, because you understand – that when you get through this patch, when you clear through this, hopefully with a few more wins, hopefully with the ability to say, oh, gosh, we found some foundational pieces. Yeah. We found Jalen Duncan. My goodness, Jalen Duncan can play for us. There were opportunities for people out there who got shots. Jalen Duncan looks like he made the most of his first opportunity. Now, the question about Jalen coming out of Maryland was inconsistency. Can he follow it up?
Yeah.
Well, what if he can?
Yeah.
Those are the things.
But you have to find out.
You have to find out. And you're fortunately or unfortunately, Dawn, you're going to have the opportunity to find out.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing better than just sitting and getting experience,
Yeah. So, Vaught, Coach Vrabel was asked some questions today at his press conference about basically kind of insinuation of, or not really insinuation, but do you feel like you've lost the locker room, right? And
I
the
heard
players. And maybe some people, because nationally, of course you're going to put Mike Vrabel on the hot seat just strictly because of record, whether you know what's going on in this franchise or not, right? Or the reasons.
It's part of the deal in the NFL. You understand
and
that.
Vrabes knows that.
Sure.
But I want your take on the whole lost the locker room thing, because you watch this game so closely. You see those players, you know those players. How do you feel about that narrative?
I hate to answer a question with a question, but where are the signs of that? I mean, just because you're not winning doesn't mean you've lost the locker room. I'll give you a great example. When Mike Munchak was the coach here, he didn't win, but he never lost the locker room. I mean, he had guys playing down the stretch for him in 2013, still playing very hard for him. Not winning doesn't mean you've lost the locker room. Yep. In some cases, it means you're just, in some cases, for whatever reason, you're just not good enough.
Right.
So, I think you're asking those questions. I get it. I've been in positions earlier in my life where I had to ask questions during difficult seasons, and some of them you're just, you just understand where the sort of the narrative goes. But I don't see it. I mean, the guys aren't snapping off one another in post-game interviews. Yeah. You don't have fights that the team bus. I'm on the team bus. I mean, you just don't have that. It's not going well, but the world's not ending in terms of the culture and all of that. And in some cases too, there are people who are better than you. Jacksonville, Vrabel said it right now. Jacksonville's better than Tennessee. It's hard for me to say that. It's really hard. But that's where it is at this moment in time on November 20th. Again, I don't think it'll be like that forever.
Right.
He said something today about playing complimentary football and that they haven't been able to do that. One of the things, Big Jeff just looked so dejected in the locker room. I know a lot of the guys did, but he was talking about how they're on the field so much. And so I looked, 69 plays to 38
plays.
36,
Rex said
26.
that on the post game, and I thought he's read that wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, because I asked him on the air, I
outlandish.
said, did you say 38 plays? Because that's it's like, why isn't Derrick Henry getting the ball more? 38 plays.
And you're behind.
And you're behind. I mean,
he carried it 10 times of the 38.
The stat that's really the one, and I haven't run it, but if you look at the Titans' 3-and-outs on offense compared to the 3-and-outs they get on defense, I bet the difference in those numbers would be staggering. The 3-and-outs for the Titans' offense are killing the defense, and the fact that the defense can't get the ball back quickly, it's hurting the offense. They did in that one moment. It's 27-7, and they get their first 3-and-out of the day, and you're saying, here we go. Maybe you got a little bit of a chance to – I'm not thinking you're going to win it. Maybe you are, but you're going to make it a little fun. Yeah, you got momentum, and there is time. And then Guerra, unfortunately, gets stripped and fumbles the punt, and you hated it for him because he's another guy who's playing his butt off. I mean, Eric Guerra is a guy who looks like you're saying to yourself, okay, I think he can help somewhere going forward. Players like that, you hate to see bad things happen to, but it would have been interesting to see what the flow would have been because guess what? The offense gets to go right back out there. The number of minutes that they spend standing on the sideline after a series because they've just gone 3-and-out and then the other team keeps the ball for a while, you don't get any continuity. You don't get any flow, and they haven't been able to get any of that. I mean, that thing is really underrated in terms of where they have been this year, and it's been incredibly frustrating for everybody involved.
So I need to just not look at my Twitter.
You going to get on your phone?
No, my Twitter.
She's getting on Twitter, bro.
Is it
people,
do they tweet it? Do they tweet at you, or do they?
Well,
no, she puts herself in it.
What did you tweet? Did you tweet something bad again?
No.
She inserts herself.
What do you mean again? What? Come on.
She inserts herself into things.
I do. That's the
That's
problem.
why I came in studio. I wanted to confront you in person.
No,
I wanted to talk about Tennessee beating Syracuse, but we can't talk about that. Why is that?
We can't talk about that.
Sure.
So, no, I had quote tweeted somebody that was basically saying Will Levis isn't the guy. And my quote tweet was, how in the world can you tell after 4 games with this offensive line?
Threw
with
17 passes. I mean, I thought he did okay. I mean, he threw a couple bad balls yesterday, made a couple bad decisions. Guess what? He's a rookie.
Right.
I mean, that's going to happen.
Who's probably now used to running for his life.
A little bit, but I mean, you've got to learn you can't throw back across your body over the. I mean, you just can't do that. Yeah. He could have run in one of those instances and probably done something well, but he still throws some pretty good deep balls and he keeps his composure. He doesn't fall apart. I like what he's seen. Somebody said something good to me today that I'd never heard before. He says, there are guys who run plays and there are guys who play quarterback. Will Levis plays quarterback. I love his talent. I love that he's big, but he's playing quarterback. And you can work with that. Guys who just run plays, that's just not going to work. This is a guy who's playing quarterback. And I think if people will just take their time and, the Titans are going to try to do certainly more things down the stretch to help him. And he's got to improve. He's got to continue to learn from it. But I don't see him getting in any way, shape, or form scarred for life. That's not what the look of it is. And listen, there were a lot of people worried about that in 2015 when Marcus Mariota was just getting waylaid left and right. I get it, and it can happen. I don't think that was what ended up being Marcus's issue, but that's another story for another time. This, though, I don't think this guy is going to get scarred. I don't think that's who he is. He's one of the things you like about him is he's taken some lumps. He took him at Penn State. He took him at Kentucky. I mean, I don't think he's scared. I don't think he
took him on draft day.
He took him out. Yeah, I mean, he's.
Yeah, that's a big point. Yeah.
I mean, Will Levis ain't soft. Okay?
He keeps getting back up, man.
He's not SOFT or SAWFT. He's neither. SAWFT. So anybody worried about that, just forget that. And there are going to be a couple moments that I think you're going to see for him probably in the next couple of weeks where you go, yes, okay, I get this. Nobody that I know has lost any faith in what he can do and for what he looks like at this point.
impressed with what you've seen from Tajay Spears?
I love Tajay Spears.
Yeah.
And, Ramon was talking about his leadership too. I mean, that's a guy who wants to play.
Right.
And that's a guy who wants to compete. And he was mad at himself, I think, one time because, if he got around one guy, there was a lot of green in front of him. And Tajay plays hard. The first guy doesn't usually bring him down. He's not scared to do the dirty work. Returning kickoffs, good by him. He just wants to play. Yeah. And you love a guy like that on offense, especially because you see fewer of them on offense. You see more guys on defense, kind of like a Garrow. Right. Or an Anthony Kendall. You see these guys, they'll do anything. When you find a guy on offense who is willing to do anything, that's an even bigger chess piece going forward because, he lines up at wing back. He lines up at wide receiver. He doesn't care. And whoever he's paired with, whenever, it doesn't bother him. He wants to play. And that's what he looked like at the Senior Bowl. When we saw him at the Senior Bowl and he was the best player on the field, that's what he looked like. I think that's what he's going to continue to look like. I think Tajay Spears is a winning football player.
Can you hang for one more? If you can't, tell me.
Yeah, I can. Sure.
Okay. More with Mike Keith.
Is she going to get on Twitter and go after me again? Now that I have Twitter, is she personally going after me?
This is what happened this morning.
So
she
I can't look at it yet.
She quote tweets and comments on Phil Williams and Clay Travis. And wonders how her Twitter feed.
Bad choices, right?
Wonders how her
they're
Twitter
two
feed
different
blows
choices.
Very.
More with the voice of the Titans, Mike Keith.
Here,
Next, 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
What is happening, good people? Now, listen, you understand that the winter is here. I was going to say it's coming, but it's here. And along with that comes, in the South, right here in Tennessee, is storms. You get a lot of little storms, whether it be rain, whether it be ice, whatever it is. If you got an opportunity to go out there and be prepared, why wouldn't you? Cove Generators is setting all that up for you, where I promise you, as soon as those lights click off, it's going to click right back on. Everybody in the neighborhood going to be looking at your house and knocking on your door, try to come borrow something because your refrigerator stuff ain't going to spoil, Babsy.
Yeah, because if ice hits, power's going out everywhere and it's going to be out a while. Cove Generators, your premier Generac home standby generator dealer. Call them today. Be prepared for winter. If you already have a generator, they can service whatever you already have because that's all they do. Cove Generators. They can perform the maintenance on that or on your Generac automatic standby generator. Visit covegenerators.com so you never lose power again. Here's your phone number, 931-559-3311. Slay, that's covegenerators.com.
Just stay connected through it all.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. The voice of the Titans, Mike Keith. What do you think about Carolina? One win. They're struggling. Rookie quarterback who's not very tall. Micah Parsons had
what's
fun.
wrong with not being very tall, Brad?
Well, I'm not asking you to be my NFL quarterback, Mike, and see over 6'5" guys. We saw him at SEC Media Days. We're like, that dude is slight, and not just like short, but like just slightly built.
He's not a big guy. He's not a big individual or a thick individual who is 5'9.5" or whatever. Yeah, that's true.
Like his legs are skinny.
Well, yeah, like Kyler Murray is put together.
Yeah,
I mean, he's under 5'10", but he is a big guy. This guy's never going to weigh, I think, any more than 185, 190.
I would love to know what he ate before the combine to get up to 203 or whatever he was.
I would love to be able to eat what he ate before the combine to get up to 203 or whatever. That would be so fun.
Micah Parsons had 9 quarterback pressures and 2.5 sacks against Carolina.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
and
something.
And then he got him out in the parking lot again. He just kept coming at him. It was like, wow, Micah Parsons.
Thought you were done.
Whoa.
I'll tell you who's playing well defensively the last few games is Harold Landry.
He's coming on. Yeah, he's coming on. You got to see more pressure out of him overall. I mean, they're just not going to be able to get enough. Whatever he gives, you're going to say, got to have more.
Yep.
Want to have more. Because Harold is one of those players who has the ability to do it on a consistent basis, and he's got to get back to the point where he was 2 years ago, where sometimes he was almost unblockable, or at the very least, they were so worried about him, they were having to scheme towards him, and that's what you're looking for. I don't know if it's fair to accept that all the time, or to expect that all the time, I should say, because you're saying, well, there's a guy who's got 5 sacks and pretty good chance he'll end up with double-digit sacks, and that's a nice year, and he's coming off an ACL. But the expectation of Harold is such because we've seen the different gear, and that's what this defense is lacking right now more than anything else. They are lacking the different gear out of several players.
And, I mean, as we discussed earlier, a lot of that could be how long they're on the field and how long they're standing on the sidelines, which is
and it's true. But at some point, somebody's just got to change it.
That's true.
Or it's not going to change.
Yep.
I mean, that's where you're at right now is, somebody's got to plant a flag and just say no more and then actually do something to the point where it is no more. And this is a difficult place to be in because every moment feels so crucial. I mean, if you're 7-3, and you snap the ball over your quarterback's head, essentially, and he can't recover it, and the other team recovers and drives 57 yards for a touchdown, and you're behind 7-0, your thought process is, we're down 7-0. Who cares? Long game. If you're 3-7 and that happens, your thought is, oh, no, here we go again.
Here we go again.
And that's the thing that you have to get out of, and that's the mindset Mike Vrabel talks about so much, is the Titans never worried about those mistakes. Through Green Bay last year, they never sat around and went, because they might throw an interception that gets returned for a touchdown or give up a punt return or have a field goal blocked or, whatever. Okay, we just keep playing, because they constantly did that. How many games did they win where they just kept playing and just kept playing and just kept playing, and they just wore the other team out? It's hard to have that mindset when you've got that thought in your head of, oh no.
Right.
And when you're 3-7, that's where you are. You got to find a way to get rid of it.
How good will it be for them to get back into the confines of their own home? There was 3 straight road games.
Yeah. But the schedule was wonky too.
It's crazy. 6 of the first 9 away from Nissan Stadium.
Yeah, it was wonky.
Yeah.
I mean, what 7 of the first 10 actually.
7 of the first 10, yes.
Yeah, because of London.
Right.
London was technically a home game. I mean, they scored 27, 27, and 28 in the 3 games there. They played complimentary football there.
Right.
They made big plays at times.
Right.
I have no idea why that is. It's a great home field advantage. The crowd helped them win the game against the Chargers with the noise.
Yep.
And, the people here know football and they understand ebbs and flows of games. And I think you see that from place to place. There's some places we go where people are just yelling all the time or yelling some of the time or just sort of they're doing the wave or what, whatever. And it's like they're not reacting to the specifics of the game.
Yeah.
Nissan Stadium's not like that. This crowd, this is a savvy football crowd. They've grown up with football. They understand it. And that's why people are frustrated right now because they care.
Yeah.
Our fans care, and they care deeply. And guess what? They want to win. And so, I mean, there is an understanding of that. Mike Vrabel totally understands and respects that more than anything else from the fan base. He's hurting about losing right now. This guy hates to lose. And he understands that the fan base does too, and he, quite frankly, doesn't want to disappoint him. He wants to give the fan base something to get nuts about on Sunday and really get them into it to be that sort of advantage.
Voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, with us in studio. What do you think about the game tonight, Philadelphia at Kansas City?
I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be highly rated. I kind of like Kansas City.
I kind of do too.
Really?
Andy Reid off the bye, man.
Andy Reid off the bye.
What is he, 21-3
It's
or
crazy.
something? He's 5-0 in Kansas City. I know that.
Yeah, it's very strange how good he is off a bye.
Their offense isn't as good this year. It's
They're
not
not.
humming like it has
Well,
under
that's the
Patrick.
salary cap.
Yeah, they're averaging 23 a game.
That's
which
the whole
is,
thing. That's where the salary cap goes. It's like you get real good. You get real good. You got to pay the tight end. You've got to pay the quarterback. Well, guess who you can't pay? Guess who you can't? You can't pay Tyreek Hill. So you don't have Tyreek Hill, and you have guys who are lesser versions of Tyreek Hill. Trying to plug them in, it's great, but it's not the same. It's what happened in New England over a period of time. When we beat Tom Brady in 2019, they weren't scary at receiver. They weren't scary at running back because all the money was in certain places. That's part of what we're going through right now.
Well,
I mean, we were a good team for quite a while, and we paid guys, which is what you do. But at some point, the bill comes due, and there's that turnover in the middle of it. And sometimes if you have Patrick Mahomes, the turnover isn't so bad. Right. If you have Tom Brady, the turnover isn't so bad. But guess what? When New England doesn't have Tom Brady, look at where it is right now.
I think the Eagles are a good example, too, of where the Titans might be able to go with the non-first-round quarterback
That's exactly right.
that hits.
Well, and you think
that's key.
Well, think about this. Not only the non-first-round quarterback, but the non-first-round running back, too, who looks like a bigger part of your future going forward. I mean, the cost that is going to be Levis and Spears is going to be pocket change comparatively. And so what you'll be doing in spending this offseason is you're not spending against the future. You're not spending against, oh, gosh, we've got to get a window here. You can make quality high spends and know that you're not staring dead money or a teardown in the face anytime soon because you don't have to pay a quarterback for 2 years. And if Tajay Spears turns into a really good player, you don't have to pay a running back for 2 years. Now, in the fourth year, you're going to have to pay him because they don't have the fifth-year option.
But you know that's coming.
But for
they
2
can
years,
plan for it.
in 24 and 25, they can stockpile enough talent around those players as those players develop that the Titans have the opportunity to continue to build something special with Jeffrey Simmons still in his prime, with Skoronski anchoring an offensive line, so on and so forth.
Mike Keith, host of the Mike Vrabel Show, coming up after 3HL tonight. That'll be fun.
Yes, will. Charles Davis is on.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I know. Everybody says that. Oh, that's wonderful.
He's literally the nicest
So
person
nice,
in the history of people.
He is the most. Well, he's the most popular person too.
That'll be fun. All right, thank you, Mike. Appreciate you coming in
My
studio,
pleasure,
man.
Thank
that
you.
was fun.
I thought
Thanks,
I
Mike.
needed to be here to blunt Dawn and what she was doing to us on Twitter. Did I succeed?
Yeah, that was great.
Yes, you did.
That was great. That was great.
Let's talk a little
Thanks,
college
You calmed
football.
me, but you calmed me down.